Which is probably why we've seen him very active.
There we go.
These wildfires. It is, it's scary stuff. It is catastrophic. It's truly devastating. And
I'm so kind of surprised that that's what they'd be talking about on the Mexico City ePrix broadcast, but I did hear about the Mexico crews going up to help assist in the Palisades area. Hello, everyone. I am BowserJrXD. Welcome to the Mexico City ePrix, race 2 of 16 for Formula E in the 11th season of Formula E. We're here at the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez. So that's the obviously it's the Formula 1 track for in Mexico. NASCAR will be racing it this year as well. And to kick off the events for the year, we have the much shortened version, based partially based around the Foro Sol Stadium, with 22 cars ready to attack the day. Last time we saw a thriller of a race, with attack mode playing a big part in big moves near the end, with drivers able to make up multiple seconds a lap and pass drivers like they were glued in place. The question is, can someone could Nick Cassidy, like his teammate last month, replicate, go from last to first? So that was due to a problem in qualifying. So, or no, he had a penalty. Pascal Wehrlein starts on pole. It's his second straight for the season. It's the 8th of his career, the 4th at Mexico City, which I believe is most all-time at the track. His teammate, Antonio Felix da Costa, starts next to him. Tag Heuer Porsche Power at a premium. So, right. So quick rebriefer on the standings right now with Formula E. So Mitch Evans is the points leader by 7 over Antonio Felix da Costa. Now, what was I going to say? McLaren leads the constructors' team standings by 2 over Jaguar after their 1-2, after their 3-4 finish, thanks to their late attack mode charge. And Nissan leads the standings by the manufacturer standings by 6 over Jaguar, given that Nissan is McLaren has the Nissan engines. As for Jaguar engines, first Evans and then second went to I don't even top of my head, I'm not sure. Looking at who finished, it was Buemi, because the Envision is the customer Jaguar team. Anyway, with those things said, it's time for the starting lineup. Starting 22nd, driving number 37, Jaguar for Jaguar TCS Racing. 30 years old from Auckland, New Zealand, Nick Cassidy. Starting 21st, driving the number 16, Jaguar for Envision Jaguar for Envision Racing. 36 years old from Igel, Switzerland, Sebastian Buemi. Starting 20th, driving the number 4 Envision Jaguar for Envision Racing. 33 years old from Maastricht, Netherlands, Robin Freins. Starting 19th, driving the number 5 McLaren Nissan for Neon McLaren Formula E team. 20 years old from Norwich, United Kingdom, Taylor Barnard. Starting 18th, driving the number 17 Nissan for Nissan Formula E team. 32 years old from Caen, France, Norman Nato. Starting 17th, driving the number 11, Lola Yamaha for, hold on a minute, something's not right here. Number 11, Lola Yamaha for Lola Yamaha ABT Formula or APT Formula E team. 40 years old from Sao Paulo, Brazil, Lucas Degrassi. I believe it makes him the oldest driver in the field, and something's wrong with my stats, so I gotta results winner And Degrassi won here in 2017 and 2019, making him a 2-time winner at the track. All right. Starting 16th, driving number 55, Maserati for Maserati MSG Racing. 30 years old from Birmingham, United Kingdom, Jake Hughes. Starting 15th, driving to number 33, Porsche for Cupra Curo. 25 years old from London, United Kingdom, Dan Ticktum. Starting 14th, driving to number 21, Mahindra for Mahindra Racing. 29 years old from Uitwelingera, Netherlands, Nick de Vries. And starting 13th, driving to number 2, Maserati for Maserati MSG Racing. 32 years old from Kortrijk, Belgium, Stoffel van Doorn. Starting 12th, driving to number 3, Porsche for Cupra Curo. 24 years old from Iserlohn, Germany, David Beckman. Nothing. And starting 11th, driving to number 51, Porsche for Andretti Formula E. 32 years old from Thun, Switzerland, Nico Muller. And of course, the Porsches for Curo, I would call the Curo Porsche. Starting now in the top 10. Starting 10th, driving the number 8, McLaren Nissan for Neon McLaren Formula E team. 38 years old from Roehampton, United Kingdom, Sam Bird. That's not right. Starting 9th, driving the number 22, Lola Yamaha for Lola Yamaha ABT Formula E team. 21 years old from Bridgetown, Barbados, Zane Maloney, the highest starting rookie. Starting 8th, driving the number 48, Mahindra for Mahindra Racing. 37 years old from Geneva, Switzerland, Eduardo Mortara. Starting 7th, driving the number 27, Porsche for Andretti Porsche for Andretti Formula E. 29 years old from Nuneaton, United Kingdom, Jake Dennis, a 2023 Mexico winner. Starting 6th, driving the number 7, DS for DS Penske. 27 years old from Oberstdorf, Germany, Maximilian Gunther. Starting 5th, driving the number 9, Jaguar for Jaguar TCS Racing. 30 years old from Auckland, New Zealand, Mitch Evans, who won here in 2020. Starting 4th, driving the number 23, Nissan for Nissan Formula E team. 32 years old from Barnsley, United Kingdom, Oliver Rowland. Starting 3rd, driving the number 25, DS for DS Penske. 34 years old from Pontoise, France, Jean-Eric Verne. Starting outside pole, driving the number 13, Porsche for Tag Heuer Porsche Formula E team. 33 years old from Cascais, Portugal, Antonio Felix da Costa. And on the pole, driving the number 1, Porsche for Tag Heuer Porsche Formula E team. With a pole time of 1 minute, 10.984 seconds, and an average speed of 82.81887 miles per hour. 30 years old from Sigmaringen, Germany, Pascal Vorline. That is our starting lineup for today's Mexico City ePrix.
Caliber of drivers. Well, if we look at the history here, it has been won from the front row the last 5 races. If that trend continues, it would be a win for Porsche, but anything can happen in Formula E. Join us as we go lights out in a few moments.
The civilization of the past. It's the race for the future.
The fastest Formula E cars ever.
Formula E in Mexico City.
Oh, Degrassi, it has to go to the back now. So he started 17th.
Fasten your seatbelts.
So now he'll start dead last. So that means Nato in 17th, Barnard at 18th, Ryan's 19th, Ryan's 18th. No. Nato 17th, Barnard 18th, Ryan's 19th, Wemmy 20th, Cassidy 21st.
You'll miss it.
It's round 2 of the 2025 ABB FIA Formula E World Championship. 12 months ago, Pascal Wehrlein took victory here on his way to his inaugural world title. And we're back once again for the second race of season 11 here in Mexico City. 21.8 million people live around here. It is a very densely populated area, as you can see. The mountains there in the background, the clouds overhead, and the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez is the venue for 22 drivers ahead of light lights out this afternoon. Very much looking forward to this one, the 2.630 kilometre long circuit. 19 turns in total. Turn 1, one of the best overtaking opportunities. Karun Chandok, you can see down here in towards the first corner. Drivers probably going to be making a fair amount of moves through there today.
It's been tightened up for this year and an even bigger braking zone as a result, so we'll see even more overtaking.
Certainly will. You can see going through the chicanes in towards this stadium section, the fans adorning the circuit in towards turn 13. It is an overtaking opportunity here back in 2020. You can see moves being made on the inside. Attack mode there.
I adjust my camera a little bit, but I want to make sure that the
as well for the drivers. We head through that stadium section, and then they'll have four-wheel drive and 350 kilowatts of power all the way around the Peraltada, the 180-degree final corner on towards the start-finish straight. It's going to be hugely exciting, but you can see it doesn't exactly favour those who make mistakes. This is David Beckman in free practice 1 yesterday afternoon, having a bit of a slip and a slide, but yeah, drivers
later on the
race
community
unfolds, you get marbles,
post,
you get
I'll
dust, you
detail
get
winner,
stuff
pole
on
sitter,
the
fastest
outside
lap,
line there. You get
rookie of the
a
race,
wheel on
and
that,
podium.
you could easily end up in that powder on the left-hand side.
Certainly can do. So here is the starting grid. Sebastian Buemi, Nick Cassidy on the back row. They have got penalties for the torque not matching the throttle map. Likewise, Robin Fright as well. Taylor Barnard, he was third in Sao Paulo. He starts down in 19th on the grid today. Next up is Norman Nasso and Lucas de Grassi in the Lola Yamaha Apt. Then you've got Jake Hughes, also with a 3-place penalty for impeding during qualifying. Dan Tickton in the Cupra lines up alongside. Nick de Vries also picking up a penalty in the Mahindra for impeding. So he will have a fair bit of work to do. David Beckman in the Cupra lines up a career best 12th on the grid, just behind his compatriot Nico Muller on the fringes of the top 10. And speaking of the top 10, here is how it lines up. Sam Bird in the Neil McLaren. That's his first top 10 start in Mexico since 2020. He celebrated his 38th birthday here on Thursday. Zay Maloney gets his best ever start in Formula E in 9th position. Keen to see what the Barbadian driver is going to be able to do. Eno Mortara, back-to-back dual appearances also for Jake Dennis in the Andretti in 7th position on the grid. The Porsche powertrain very strong here. Max Günther, a highest placed driver without points in the championship. He lines up in 6th position on the grid. Then inside the top 5, it is Mitch Evans. He started and finished here in that position in 2024. He's the championship leader coming into this race. Next up, Oliver Rowland, also back-to-back dual appearances for him. He led the most laps in Sao Paulo, picked up a penalty though, and was not able to take a chance at victory. Jean-Eric Vergne, his best qualifying here since 2022, and the best qualifying for DS Penske since 2016 as well. The front row of the grid, Antonio Felix da Costa, his best ever qualifying here in Mexico, and a front row start and a pole position, a record 4th for Pascal Wehrlein at the front of the grid. Back-to-back poles for the first time in his Formula E career, and a front row lockout also for Tag Heuer Porsche for their first time ever as well. 36 laps of action ready to go here for the drivers. Karun, what are we expecting down to T1?
This is a good test for their launch systems. You know, they've all got four-wheel drive.
I hope people enjoyed the
start.
Bobby Allison video.
Down to that first corner, but they need the electronics to work in a favourable way to give them the best traction. And you can see at the moment they're all using two-wheel drive for that first little launch here to get a bit of temperature in the rear tires.
All-wheel drive will
then
be
they'll
used for the
switch
start,
into the full
but
attack
then
mode
only
with
for
with the
attack
four-wheel
mode.
drive and 350 kilowatts.
They also use attack mode for the four-wheel drive for
He
qualifying.
was
The
pole
pole time today was 3 seconds faster than last year.
well, which is, makes it even more of a tough,
3 or
tough moment for
so.
Oliver Rowland. But we know he's got track record of being an aggressive driver, making bold moves. I think from where he's starting, he's hopefully out of any bunching effect we see down into turn 1 where they've slightly tightened in that corner.
Taylor Barnard there down in 19th position on the grid. Green flag is then waved at the back. 36 laps of action.
36 laps today then.
Here at the
Total of
Autodrome
about
Manus Rodriguez.
just under
Looking
60
forward to
miles,
action
just around
beginning. This is your
95
front row
kilometers.
on the right-hand side as
4,
Antonio Felix da Costa
5,
It's
lights
going.
out, and away we go here at Mexico City. The two Porsches getting away from the field.
On his teammates side by side, they run down towards the first turn.
Warline takes the lead heading into turn 1.
Look at Johnny Vergne going around the outside and trying
Ooh, we got one of the Mitch Evans
Mitch
skipping over the grass there
manages to keep it
on the
facing in the
outside.
right direction. And on the straight and narrow, up the inside, we're looking in towards turn 3. Evans on the inside there of the DS Penske. We ride on board here with Oliver Rowland.
Rowland
in 4th
in
position
4th
at the moment.
still.
Down in towards the hairpin section we go. And moves being made there on the outside.
The tight
That's
hairpin
John
that
Dennis
cuts
trying
off
to
most of the rest of the track.
No way through for him as it all bunches up through there.
Very clean run through there for everybody. Didn't see any.
Gunther losing a couple positions, losing one to Mitch Evans.
Apart from Evans, so a good clean start
The
as they
point
head towards
leader.
the chicane. Here's Jean-Eric Byrne having a look around the outside of Evans. They give each other a nice bit of room there.
Oh, it is super tight through that chicane as we go down. Mitch Evans making a slight defensive move
Into
there
the
as we enter the
stall they
stadium
go.
section here.
Gunther there losing positions off the start. He was down in about 8th position a couple of corners ago. Into the stadium we go. You can see the fans lining astern around the circuit, but the two Tag Heuer Porsches with an absolute dream start. Wehrlein getting a textbook launch away from the likes of Da Costa, following him through in towards that first corner. You can see there David Beckman just going over the curb, and that's his teammate.
Yeah, so
Dan
the
Tickton, who's in
Tictum
some
looks
strife
like he
down
had
at the exit of the
some
stadium
problem
section.
in the
Well, it's
stadium. He's
to
now down
last
to
position
last
then, by the
place.
looks of things there for the British driver, so something has gone awry for him as we come across the timing line though. Look at Oliver Rowland making a move here on Jean-Eric Byrne, down in towards the first corner. Side by side we go. Nissan versus DS Penske, and Rowland gets the place. He's up into third.
All right.
Good move
Waiting for
there,
that
and
before I
actually
started trying
slightly
to update.
wrong-footed. Jean-Eric Byrne, so he's got Jake Dennis
Now the key to attack
Oh,
mode is that you
back
want
of
to
him.
take
So
it when no
Rowland,
one else
as
is,
we've seen on previous occasions, doesn't like to
because
just
you're
back in the back.
obviously,
He likes
well,
to
maybe that's
gain
honest,
back
just to
positions
pad
early
out
on
your
and
advantage,
just get
especially
himself
with
into
this
that lead pack early.
with this attack mode. If you're on your own, it's like a bullet bill in Mario Kart. It's unfreaking beatable.
Towards the stadium section we go once again. You can see nose to tail action here between these drivers. Mitch Evans there not making particularly as much of an impact as he would have liked on this race so far. Started in 5th place, down into 7th at the middle of the second lap of this one.
Yeah, I think something happened with Tictum around that sort of Jake Hughes Maloney area, because there's a gap you can see in the pack that's opened up there, and that's where he was sort of starting. So I'm sure we'll get a replay at some point, but so far all 22 cars still up and running.
Yep, so we're coming towards the end of lap 2. Drivers will be now, of course, able to activate attack mode very shortly. That means they go up to 350
refresh
kilowatts.
for those who haven't watched. You get 8 minutes of attack mode.
You can see our virtual race engineer says it's not the go moment yet. Race is going to be pretty much
and you can take that in 2, 4, or 6 minute increments.
Seems that they've got
All attack mode must be
not
used.
to manage it too much here compared to other circuits, that's for sure.
So in towards turn 3.
Tictum in the pits.
Nose to tail here at the moment, with the two Tag Heuer Porsches having an absolute blinder of a run. You wonder whether Jean-Eric Byrne is going to be able to retaliate on Oliver Rowland.
Oh, hey, Rob, I didn't notice you were in there.
With Edo Mortara looking for a move. Let's see what happened to Tictum on the opening lap. So have a look back, the fluorescent yellow Cupra Kiro. There's going to be a bit of contact here on the inside.
Hit by Hughes.
What do you want to do? Think fast, guys. Come on. I don't know what to do because it's just.
So it's Maloney that got into the side of Hughes, then into Tictum subsequently as well. It's a shame there for Dan Tictum, and he's actually in the pit lane now as well.
Yeah, that's what I was saying, is he was in that sort of area, wasn't he, at the start? And,
I can't
and
say
got
he's
tagged
out
up.
yet.
It looks like at this stage, the Porsches aren't really charging away. There was some speculation that
Killer Barnard takes attack mode.
Run an aggressive race.
I don't even know where the attack mode area is.
But actually, the pace isn't that quick. 1:17.8 last time round. Sorry, 1:16.7 last time round.
I mean, I don't know where the
it's
trigger
allowed the
point
whole
is.
pack to bunch back up. Taylor Barnard, by the way, the first of the drivers to take the attack mode, and he's gone for 4 minutes.
Let's see.
Yeah,
So let's see how he uses it. To see how much ground you can make up. This is the young rookie. Of the 3 in the field, he's currently the last one in 17th.
Billy, he's trying to make ground here whilst everyone is pretty close together on the circuit.
Yeah, and that's where the nature of this circuit might make things a little bit more challenging for him, because you can see how bunched up the pack
he's
is,
a little,
but
he's a bit
too many
spread
overtakes
out.
happening at the minute. I think if you defend well at this
So
circuit,
his gap
it's
to
tricky
the
to pass
to
the
this
car
car's
in
ahead of
front,
him
so
was
Taylor Barnard's gonna have to
kind of
do some
big.
work here.
And he's dropped back a bit, hasn't he? So he's ended up, like, by taking that attack mode, he's got a gap of 1 and a bit seconds to Lucas Di Grassi. So first of all, he's got to use energy and that extra power to get back up to Di Grassi, and then think about overtaking there. So up at the front, though, is still the Porsches 1-2. Rowland still sitting behind at this stage.
Yeah, Nissan have brought a plethora of software upgrades to this season, and they've made a significant impact on the Jaguars and the Porsches. They are looking very close. Bit wide there for Wehrlein going through that final corner, and I wonder if he's just trying to set himself up for a better exit coming.
Barnard's gotten past both Lola Yamahas.
Like,
currently last. Yamaha currently last in the point standings for the manufacturers. Barnard sets the fastest lap.
Reduced because we are at 2,200 meters here in Mexico City, as we've got Oliver Rowland looking
Rowland trying to make a move on Da Costa, can't make it.
There, but Da Costa's got it covered for now.
I think DaCosta's getting a little bit impatient behind the other Porsche there. He's having to defend the inside line. We saw into turn 1, turn 3, again in turn 5. So they're playing a bit of a team game in some ways. I think maybe they've decided, because they're 1-2, they're going to back the pack up and just save energy for Wehrlein. I can imagine them doing a swap, giving DaCosta a chance to get in front, him to save energy as well, and then they're in control of this race, and there'll be a point where they banked enough energy they could go. The problem is, of course, everyone else is also going slowly and saving energy at the same time.
Yeah, looking at the difference between those that have used attack mode, which is currently only Taylor Barnard in terms of lap time to the leaders, 1.5 seconds quicker than Pascal Wehrlein on the last lap. So that is the effect of the attack mode, whilst also him navigating traffic. So it's probably more than that in effect.
Yeah, and now we've got Sam Bird, David Beckman, Stoffel Van Dorn, as also the other 3 cars have taken attack mode.
Yeah, you can see there a bit of a gap beginning to build at the end of the drivers who, of course, have not taken attack mode. The ones that have dropped a little bit further back off of the remaining pack at the moment. But yeah, keen to see what's going to happen here with the 2 Jaguar Porsches. You'd imagine they're going to work together. They're in this Noah's Ark formation 2x2 at the moment, and they can, as Karim said, back the pack up and try and create that gap. So when they do take attack mode, they won't lose.
Oh, yeah, so I see more drivers taking attack mode. Sam Bird, David Beckman, Stoffel Van Dorn.
Give up a lot of positions to then hold yourself up, or you're trying to use that attack mode to the best of your abilities. I'll be keen to see what the front leaders do in terms of their strategy. Are they going to hold that attack mode towards the end of the race, but risk potentially safety car incidents happening?
That's the other problem. Safety cars will have attack mode.
Trying to make a move there on Nick de Vries down into turn 12, but nothing doing for him.
What I'm trying to say, attack mode will timers continue during safety cars.
No, and this is going to be his last
It's a big
window
danger
here, isn't it? He's
because
got
you could
15
potentially
seconds
waste
to
it.
go off this attack mode. So he could get the advantage through this final corner, get the acceleration to get past, possibly down the straight.
De Vries over defending against Taylor like an absolute madman.
Yeah, understood, mate. We know what he's like. Okay, so we should get position switch turn 1, position switch turn 1.
So Barnard and Bird then changing positions. Now Bird with the attack mode, with the extra power and the 4-wheel drive, trying to use that to his advantage. Whereas, of course, behind Barnard, you've got David Beckman, who is also in that attack mode. So he's now going to have to defend with his life to try and make sure that the Cooper Kiro doesn't find his way through.
Yeah, he did a good job there into turn 3 to hold off Beckman.
All right.
Coming at him with big
Barnard
momentum.
ran out of attack mode.
Lunge is going down into turn 5 and 6 there.
Yeah, we have Gunter and Evans further up the order there as well. But yeah, Beckman trying to make some moves.
Yeah, but he squeezed Barnard out wide, and that's kind of allowed Van Dorn to get in amongst it as well. So we're back on board. This is the other Neon McLaren here. So Sam Bird having a little look into the stadium.
Yeah, de Vries there just defending the line, isn't he? Going in towards the stadium section we go, and again de Vries chopping the nose off of Sam Bird, the Briton.
Yeah, but that's fair game. I mean, you know, he's not around to just wave people past. That's what he's there to do. So this was Bird under attack early on with the 2 Mahindras, yeah.
So you've got de Vries there who lunged his way through on the inside. Mortara was up in front of it, so keep an eye out stage right. You're going to get a Mahindra of de Vries lunging.
Ooh, sneaking in front, sneak through the middle.
That, in turn, gave Bird nowhere to go, sent him into the side of Eden Mortara.
It almost looked like it slightly distracted Sam's gaze, and he just accidentally clipped the back of Mortara there. It seemed like a little bit of a mistake. Luckily, as Corinne's touched on earlier in the show, these nose cones now, they're pretty robust, it's fair to say.
Yeah. Oh, look at that. Roland on the outside, in towards the right-hander. That might allow an opportunity here for Jean-Eric Vergne to take advantage. No, not quite at the moment. Roland manages
Barnard's
to
back to 14.
Ready to try and join in the action. He goes left, he goes right. He's looking to the inside into turn 12. Turn 10 rather, I should say, but nothing doing for him there.
Mortara now in the pits.
So none of the top 9 have used their attack mode as yet. Let's have a look as they come into the stadium section. This is, of course, where the attack mode activation corner is. And we'll see if any of those leading drivers have a go. Sam Bird has got past the Mahindra there of Nick de Vries.
I wonder whether the drivers who are sitting behind the
Beckman now in the top 10.
The top 2 to go.
He can try to earn his first point in Formula E.
Personally, I think you need to keep one of your attack modes for late in the race. I just think if you get a late safety car, or you get something late in the race of an opportunity where the pack is bunched up, if you've got attack mode and your rival's having, you're going to gain massively. The risk, of course, is that you might run out of time to use it. So, yeah, I personally, I think that is something we're going to see unfold in this season. Is people are going to try and keep one of their attack modes for later on.
It's interesting with that, Corinne, though, because it's quite an easy track from the early laps of what we've seen so far to defend your position. You've seen a few drivers using defensive lines and managing to hold off people with attack mode for at least a few laps. So it could come down to, you know, small margins of defensive driving paying off at the end.
Speaking of that, we saw Oliver Rowland defending against Max Günther very nicely there. Team radio. No cars in attack behind there for Wehrlein. Nothing for him or indeed Da Costa to worry about in particular at the moment.
I don't know why it's a bit tame. We're about a quarter of the way through the race. These things go by pretty quickly.
To carry on as normal. Only one driver in attack mode at the moment. That is Nick de Vries. Here are the fans watching on. They're loving it here at the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez. A sellout crowd here this weekend. And you just get the sense that this is going to be starting to bubble up. Waiting for it to kick on there as we see Wehrlein coming across the timing line, lap 10 out of 36.
So, Wehrlein's led 257 laps in his Formula E career.
De Vries defending against Stoffel Van Dorn down into the first turn, in the Maserati. De Vries there just behind David Beckman in the Cooper Kiro.
All the action's going on in the back half, where there's no points earned.
Quite a few points over the course of this weekend. It was wet actually earlier on this morning due to some overnight.
Mortara and Ticktum are on the track.
Very, very slippery indeed. I suppose the disadvantage if you take a attack mode later on in the race is if you end up with a safety car or a yellow flag or something like that, you're not able to use that attack mode to your advantage. We saw that in Sao Paulo.
Yeah. It's a risk versus reward game, isn't it? That you got to play. But we'll see. You know, we're coming up to 1/3 distance now, and you know, so far it does seem like the top 9 are all happy to just sit and wait. Apart from it looks like
there goes Nico Muller trying to earn to get the attack mode.
I was just going to mention Nico Muller because he's a driver that's made up 3 places and hasn't used attack mode until just now. So he's actually been making up places without having used that yet. So I've got a feeling when he uses it now, he could make up a few more positions. I think his pace so far has been pretty strong.
The problem here is, though, he's rejoined behind Nick de Vries, who is also in attack mode. So he's going to lose a little bit of time just there. But de Vries, I think on the whole, though, Sam Bird is one of the winners here because he's managed to gain a couple of track positions, hasn't he? Like you said with Muller, they've gained net track position there.
Oh, hang on a minute, look at that. There's Nico Muller trying his way on the outside of Nick de Vries into the hairpin section, turns 5-6. And look at that then, up in front of de Vries. You've got Bird going side by side here with the Mahindra. Once again, these two have had a bit of history earlier on in this race. De Vries on the inside. He's going to bottleneck up here, and Bird shuffled out almost to the wall. That could allow an opportunity for Muller to strike, and he does. Up the inside, through into turn 9. Muller takes the position and goes up into the top 10.
Nick de Vries there, he's only got 20 seconds of attack mode left, so you could see he was getting a little bit desperate to make those passes count whilst he's still got it.
So through into the stadium we go once more. See the fans again absolutely loving this one here. End of lap 6, Wehrlein became only the 3rd driver in Formula E history to lead 100 laps at a single Formula E venue, joining Sam Bird and Antonio Felix da Costa. End of lap 12 we now come to.
25 to go.
25 laps to go here in this one. 2 Maseratis, and look at this. This is how the attack mode is used, and you can see Nico Muller with 4-wheel drive with an extra 50 kilowatts of power going up the inside. He made that look easy on Nick de Vries into turn 1.
The downside of having attack mode is that you also use more energy. They've all got the same amount of energy to use for the entire race, and he's just getting a bit close there, but Muller will sort of settle down, isn't it?
Yeah, Muller just trying to find his way through on Mitch Evans and doing so as well. So Muller now, of course, in attack mode.
Muller's past Mitch Evans.
The energy. We'll come back to that thought in a few moments' time because Muller is really trying hard here to make these positions up whilst the field is all concertinas up. His next target will be his teammate, Jake Dennis.
Dennis and Da Costa have done a great job with the energy, haven't they? They're the ones who've managed to bank off the lead pack. They're the ones who've managed to bank the most there. But tell you what, it's a bit disappointing that Cassidy, Bohemian Friends there, down at the back, not really making much progress.
I was down talking to Taylor Barnard on the grid just before the start of the race, and he said the problem is, because of the nature of this circuit, the way the racing turns out to be, overtaking is going to be difficult. He said what we really need is a safety car to try and bunch the field up and hope that we get lucky with the attack mode activation, that we decide to do it at the right point. across the timing line we go then. So you can see the two Tacroy Porsches still in exactly the same places as to where they started the race. Roland up into third position. You wonder who is going to bite first.
Keep focusing on your efficiency. Good job so far.
Third of the way
Mason
through.
there as well.
Same energy or up compared to everyone. Only Antonio at the moment, 0.5%.
Byrne looking on the outside of Roland, possibly the door opening here for Dennis as well. Dennis is going to walk straight through it if he can, but Byrne does have track position through to the left-hander. Here comes Nico Müller as well. He's still in attack mode. He's going to get 2 for the price of 1. Down into turn 9, he's on the outside line. Byrne defends, chops his nose off. Dennis is there as well.
That's not very smart tactical racing there from Andretti. They should have told Dennis that Muller's got the attack mode, and they should have, found a way to position Muller. But has Muller got a problem there? He just seems to have backed off.
Yeah, he's slowing a fair
He's slowing and he's backing up. Oh, he's making the gap. That's what he's doing. He's making the gap for Dennis to come out in front.
Jake Dennis holds on a fifth spot as he takes his attack mode.
They've recognized, okay, Muller's
he hasn't won since Doria last year.
Let's not bother, letting him get in front. Let's use him to help Dennis out.
Problem here for Dennis is, as you said earlier on, Corinne, he's now in attack mode. He's got extra power available, but he's now got a gap to make up to Jean-Eric Byrne up in front.
I don't think he'll mind having a bit of clear track in these early stages, because at least he can use that attack mode to full effect rather than being stuck behind the car. But if you're Nico Müller, you can be feeling a little bit hard done by, because he's been making good progress so far, and he was almost used as a bit of a guinea pig there to sacrifice opening up a bit of a gap for Jake Dennis when he could have been focusing going forward. We've got some battling down into the hairpin still.
Yeah, Roland having a look there on Da Costa, and Byrne also ready to try and pick up the pieces as well. It stays as it is. It's so easy to defend into that corner, but look at Dennis on the attack mode then with four-wheel drive, with extra power, looking to the outside line, and he's almost into the back there of the Nissan.
Yeah,
the DS.
Yeah, he'll have better traction there. So he's gone past Jean-Eric Byrne, better traction out of the chicane. He's now got Roland ahead of him and will have nearly 3 minutes of attack mode. So we should see Dennis drive past.
Verline in.
Well.
And Jean-Eric Byrne in.
Oh, look at this, side by side here between the two Tacroy Porsches. They're going to try and work together.
Oh, man.
Tight, though, going through there. It could
Can
leave
Porsche
them
get more line clear his teammate?
Oh,
here comes Dennis.
But he's up the inside into the Perotada to the right.
Damn.
Here in Mexico, he's up through and into
Well, that's Roland. They're still side by side, and they wave around Roland. Oh! Contact. 4 lines gonna lose a spot to Dennis. Oh, man.
It's going to look and try and take advantage as well. We go into turn 3.
Wait. Oh, is it Da Costa? Oh, sorry. Da Costa's the one who... This is what happens when 2 cars look the same. I can't tell who's what.
Da Costa was...
Well.
Roland and Dan not in attack.
Good Lord. Roland
Da Costa was
stuck out the longest last time, not taking his attack mode.
He just got completely wrong-footed. Roland, was aggressive, went past. Dennis went past, and then got squeezed. He got squeezed out, Da Costa, which also allowed Sean to get through. So, yeah, I think Da Costa will regret trying to help Verline out so much there, because it's ended up hurting him.
Just in on our timing screen, the incident we saw with Dan Tixon, it was under investigation. No further action from that one. So a shame there for him, but he can go out and get some good laps in for the Cupra Kiro team, try and get some development mileage for that outfit. Of course, a customer Porsche powertrain for the Cupra team.
Here's in the old Porsches.
Their rate of progress continues.
Or that his teammate Beckman is
so
having a good time. And Verne up to third now.
Active attack mode at the moment. Roland and Da Costa have not yet activated theirs. So they're the outliers, and you can see their moves being made as Barnard and Bird, in fact, actually having a look on the inside. Barnard doesn't get through. He does.
Behind the Kiro.
Just manages to make the position there.
Trying to protect the link from Van Dorn.
Van Dorn as well as David Beckman. Da Costa team radio.
Attack mode behind. Ooh, help me now.
Team radio there for Antonio Felix Da Costa. He wants a bit of help here.
I don't really know where he's going to get that help from, if I'm honest.
Yeah, that's the problem. It's worked out fine for
Dennis still has his attack mode. Borderline doesn't. As they go to enter the stadium section. Borderline trying to defend. He's got 20 seconds before Dennis's power boost wears off. Dennis cuts to the inside. Oh, but he gets loose. Roland and Da Costa take attack mode. 10 seconds left of it. And Dennis takes the lead.
no love lost there between Jake Dennis and Pascal Wehrlein. We've seen them come to blows many times in the last couple of seasons, and it's Jake Dennis who now leads this race, having started in 7th place on the grid.
Yeah, that's brilliant progress there for Jake Dennis, and he'll be hoping to try and continue that. The problem as well here for the likes of Byrne and Wehrlein is they've gone out of their first attack mode activation. Roland and DaCosta now in it, they've got the power and the extra performance and four-wheel drive. Are they going to be able to use it and try and make positions like we saw Dennis just do?
Yeah, this is where you'll be seeing Byrne and Wehrlein looking in their mirrors, trying to defend their positions hard. But Jake Dennis and Pascal Wehrlein, going back to that battle, that came down to a difference in terms of how they've used their attack mode. Jake Dennis, he used 4 minutes. Pascal Wehrlein took it, he only used 2. So at this stage, he had an attack mode, Jake Dennis, but Pascal Wehrlein didn't. And this was bold overtaking, bouncing over the curbs, ambitious, sliding all over the place, but managed just to
That's
hook it
good
up.
stuff,
Pascal
though.
Lost out to Jake Dennis.
Finding the
through that
limits of
stadium section.
control
Really
and
aggressive
exploiting them.
driving from Jake Dennis there.
Yeah, hugely impressive stuff from Dennis and Wehrlein there. So they continue on leading.
Vern's been dropped back to
Tickton, who of course is out of sequence compared to the rest of them. Into attack mode then for the second time.
Muller
Nico
takes
Miller.
attack
Mitchell
mode,
also
Evans
following
takes
through.
attack mode.
They slot in between the Mahindra of Nick de Vries.
So Roland's got another 30-odd seconds to go off attack mode. This is his chance to try and get drive and traction out of this final corner. Use that attack mode and a four-wheel drive to get up to Pascal Wehrlein here.
Down towards the first corner, of course, DaCosta with an extra 2 minutes available because he went for a 4-minute deployment in the early stages of this race. You can still see that he's got another 4 minutes there remaining into turn 3. Roland, Wehrlein all defending and going for that tighter line on the apex of the corner. Roland now about to exit the attack mode. Team radio for DaCosta.
Can I pass Pascal if I get there? Affirm. Roland.
And DaCosta does.
Well, no, he's past Roland because Roland's out of attack mode. So that's a classic move we're going to see again and again, is traction. Four-wheel drive, you can accelerate better. And now he's gone past Wehrlein as well. So DaCosta now up into 2nd place, and he should take the lead off the ePrix in the next lap.
DaCosta passes his DaCosta passes his teammate for the first time today.
Who's used the right amount of attack mode or different amounts? Jake Dennis used 4 minutes. DaCosta is using his first 4 minutes as well. So if DaCosta passes Jake Dennis on track, they've used the same amount of attack mode. So that will be for track position.
So coming through the Perotada we go, and this should be quite easy for Antonio Felix DaCosta to set it up. He's got four-wheel drive, he's got extra power.
If DaCosta were to win, he'd enter a 4-way tie for the most wins with Buemi, deGrassi, and Mitch Evans.
And DaCosta has to live and fight another day. Can't make a move into that first corner.
Oh, I can see the wiggle from Dennis. Here goes DaCosta to the lead.
DaCosta goes back through and into the race lead. He demotes the Andretti down into 2nd place and possibly allows an opportunity for Wehrlein to try and attack against the former world champion as well. Dennis knows that defends into turns 5.
But Dennis is the big winner, isn't it, on this first round of attack mode? He is the big gainer who's gone from starting down.
Here we go. On the inside, trying to.
Good job. Drive to your targets.
DaCosta not able to make the move there on Jake Dennis into the chicane.
Wehrlein.
My eyes are looking down the leaderboard slightly to the other Andretti of Nico Miller. He's using another amount of attack mode. He's going to have all of his attack mode used. I wonder if Andretti are playing a team game here, trying to get him in front of Pascal Wehrlein to give Jake Dennis a bit of an advantage.
So Wehrlein then still sitting in 3rd place. Muller and Evans also in attack mode, as you can see there in the background as well. That could leave Oliver Rowland under a bit of pressure here, and will do so, because look at Muller. He's got four-wheel drive. He's got the inside line to the Perotada. It's a brave driver who can find their way through on the inside, but Muller's trying to invent something.
Muller to 4th on roll.
Nico Muller going
Yeah, 4th on over Rowland.
4th position there with a minute of attack mode remaining.
Yeah, and this is where it could get critical, as Billy was saying. If he gets his move done ahead of Wehrlein, then he can basically hold Wehrlein back and allow Dennis to get his attack mode done without losing track position. Oh, yeah, Evans on the outside, and he is in attack mode. So he watches traction, watches acceleration out of this corner compared to Rowland, who's only going to be able to use
the last 8 cars have not used their attack mode.
Evans got the move done. Can't quite see it.
Yeah, yes, he has. Yeah, nice and easy there for Mitch Evans, able to use the advantage in performance that he's got to get the position ahead now then of Nico Muller. Oliver Rowland, I should say, rather. coming into the stadium we go. Nose-tail action here between these drivers. Two Andretti's now sandwiching Pascal Wehrlein. Wehrlein going in for his second attack mode deployment, though.
That's a
He's
wrong
the
way
first
attack
driver
mode, loses
from
a spot
the
to
top
Muller.
five to go and do so. You can see our virtual race engineer says Dennis needs to push to take attack mode so that he can stay ahead of Oliver Rowland here.
Yeah, but Rowland is now dropped behind Wehrlein and Evans, so we need to see how this plays out. There's a few more moving parts here. So Wehrlein's now got 6 minutes of attack mode. The key for him is, can he use it and get himself back into the lead? He's got 4 cars ahead of him. If he picks one off, 6 minutes, he'd probably get 3 or 4 laps. He could pick them off
Wehrlein's now in fifth
one
behind
lap
Mitch
by
Evans.
each and end up in the lead of this race here.
So down in towards the right-hander of turn 5 we go. Wehrlein then in attack mode against Mitch Evans, who's now back into the normal 300 kilowatts. And this is where you can see the advantage of the traction and the four-wheel drive. He's just able to drive past Mitch Evans like he's standing still. Into the chicane we go, and he's up through and into 4th position is the reigning world champion. Next target, Nico Müller in 3rd.
And how hard is Nico Müller going to defend here? Because Jake Dennis will be hoping very aggressively indeed. As we come into the stadium section, he has a look up the inside, but Nico Müller positions his car nicely there.
Yeah, you can make a move there. We saw that, and we have seen that in previous seasons.
Dennis going for attack mode. Falls behind.
Oh!
It's been just ahead of Wehrlein.
Crucially, of Pascal Wehrlein here.
Yeah, that was super important there. What Müller did on the way into the stadium by holding back Wehrlein has worked out perfectly. So, presumably, Andretti will now do the swap.
Müller is down on energy to us.
And that is the swap happening. So, now this is important for Andretti. They want to get Müller to defend from Wehrlein, even for a couple of corners, just to buy Dennis a little bit more time. And he's done a great job there into turn 3.
Working nicely for De Costa at the moment there as well. He's pulling out a nice advantage, about 1.5 seconds or so, and he's still got another attack mode remaining. So if he can increase that advantage, he could be set to take that final attack mode deployment and hold on to the lead of the race.
Sam Burr's been given a 5-second penalty, by the way, for causing a collision.
Ooh, with who?
Being made there for Wehrlein, getting better of Müller.
You can use even more energy. You can use even more energy.
So Wehrlein now up through and into the podium positions once again and saying that he can use more energy. He's got enough expendable left for the end of this race. 14 laps to go at the end of this one.
Interestingly there,
Or De Costa
takes it
into the attack mode there, but coming out crucially ahead of Pascal Wehrlein. So that's working out quite nicely for him then.
Yeah, De Costa managing to
Costa
stay ahead of his
finished second
teammate.
at Sao Paulo.
Probably
would be the only driver if he were to get that win to be have 2 podiums to start the year. Fastest lap for Jake Dennis.
But now he's got his teammate in between the two of them. That could be quite costly for Pascal Wehrlein.
But I think they were conscious of the fact that De Costa only had 4 minutes available, whereas obviously Wehrlein had the 6. So I think their priority is to get
but he's
one
so
of
far
their
back, it
cars
doesn't matter.
hopefully both ahead of Dennis here. And at the moment, the top 3 are all in the same power mode, so they're not going to have a huge
2.5
advantage.
minutes left, so you have 1 more lap than him. You have 1 more lap than him.
And the subtext to that is, be patient. You don't need to pass him on this lap. You can do it when he runs out of energy. You should have an advantage. So sit back, bank the energy for when you need it to actually get past.
Smart strategy then from him, but he's going for the move. Yeah, up the inside.
There goes Da Costa. He takes the lead.
The race away, back from Jake Dennis into the stadium we go, and no way that Dennis can retaliate. So it's Porsche's first and third with the Andretti Porsche. Now Jake Dennis in second position here.
Porsche powertrains 1, 2, 3, 4 at the moment.
No surprise there at all. One of the most successful manufacturers. They've won every single race in Gen 3 as a powertrain manufacturer, have Porsche, and they are now leading, as Karun said, first, second, third and fourth in this race. Across the timing line we go. The start lap number 24. All of the top 3
5 of 6 are in the points.
At the moment in the final stages.
I think it's interesting looking to the gap back to the likes of Oliver Rowland, John-Eric Vergne. They've still got 6 minutes of attack mode still to use.
I'm trying to go on the outside, can't get it there.
The last few laps, they'll be on a charge.
Dennis was a little bit deep into turn 3 there. That might leave him under pressure here from
Ooh, we're on the outside from Wehrlein. Can't make it stick, trying the crossover. No.
The disadvantage for Wehrlein is that Dennis is in exactly the same position in terms of the usable power, but he's on a great run. Coming on the inside, into
another of the inside, and Wehrlein passes Dennis.
and into second place.
It's for Porsche 1-2. Factory
that's a
Porsche
costly mistake
1-2.
there from Jake Dennis. I mean, being in the same attack mode, you want to keep track position, and in being in attack mode for Jake Dennis, he's lost out to both the Porsche powertrain cars, both Porsche cars. Da Costa, Wehrlein really making attack mode count.
Look at the gap now that's begun to appear between the top three here. They've really started to push. Muller, bit of a cork in the bottle, actually, with Roland, Evans, Verne, and Gunter to an extent behind.
Yeah, but I think that's tactical, isn't it? They're trying to protect Dennis from Roland Evans and the two DS Penske's, because they still have attack mode left, so they will still have a pace advantage later in the race. So at the moment, Dennis is now out of attack mode. Da Costa's in the pound seat because he's got an extra 30 seconds there, and further back, Roland attacking Muller. So Roland's getting a bit fed up of being stuck in that train behind Muller, and he's now got ahead.
Roland's also got one more attack mode deployment available in this race, so if he can close the gap down.
My left front's dead.
This is another point that we would need to talk about in this race as well. Tyres, softer compound of Hankooks here for 2025 in Formula E. And teams, drivers have all been saying this weekend the front left tyre, which takes a lot of lateral load, especially through that 180-degree final corner of the Peraltada. They're saying that tyres are going to be absolutely critical towards the end of this race. So those who maybe have a smoother driving style or are able to eke out more life in their tyres could be
we just have 1/3 of the race to go. 11.5 laps or so.
Dan Tinkton was obviously in that first lap incident here. So I don't know, look at Da Costa. Watch how he's going to pull away from us as we ride on board with Pascal Wehrlein here.
Copy. So we are 0.2 up on Antonio. 0.2 up on Antonio. Stay be efficient with you behind him.
So team radio there as we come across the timing line. So 10 laps to go here in Mexico City. Da Costa, Wehrlein, Dennis, 1, 2 and 3 down in towards the first turn. Roland still with one attack mode deployment, but he's a fair old gap off. He's about 2.5 seconds away from the top three at the moment.
We mentioned earlier about tyre degradation. It's a factor that as we come into the later stage of this race, those that have saved their attack mode, this is where potentially attack mode, the advantage you get from having all-wheel drive could be even more significant. So the charge we expect the likes of Oliver Rowland, John-Eric Verne, Gunter to all make in the final few laps could be exaggerated by the likes of Jake Dennis really starting to struggle with that tyre degradation.
Yeah, as you said, a lot of drivers outside of the top 15 have not yet taken their attack mode deployments. De Grassi, Nato, all with attack mode available, as well as the likes of Cassidy and Buemi. So we'll see how they decide to play their strategy later on in the race, if they're able to take advantage of the fact that they have not yet taken that deployment, or any of their deployments, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, it's a bit confusing, isn't it? De Grassi and Nato haven't taken any of their things, and we only got 10 laps to go, so they're running a slight risk of not, you know, if we get a yellow safety car or something, they're running a risk of wasting that. But Nato has, in fact, taken it now.
Yeah, they must be piping the commentary box into the drivers' helmets at the moment, because, as you say, that Maloney, Nato all go into their attack mode deployments for the first time, and you can see how close it is here. So there's an opportunity for those drivers now in attack mode to take advantage. Van Dorn going on the inside.
Now we're within 10 to go.
Looking to try and defend against the two Neil McLarens of Barnard and Bird, who sit in 12th and 13th place there respectively. Driver's eye view from Sam Bird at the moment. Team radio for him.
Okay, Sam, our mission now is to...
Now we're seeing the drivers that were in the back take their attack modes, likely to spam it all right at the end of the race. Hopefully there's no safety car to screw that up.
Voice of Stephen Lane there, race engineer for Sam Bird. So very much a defensive move for Sam Bird and the Neil McLaren team for that strategy at the moment. Look, though, at Gunter and Verne. Verne on the inside against Mitch Evans. Both of the DS Penske's now in attack mode and splitting the Jaguar TCS racing car into the stadium section now.
This will be interesting for me to see the difference in lap times between the two DS Penske's in attack mode to the front runners we've got, because you also will give a lot of information as to how much we can expect Oliver Rowland to close the gap to the front leaders.
Sam Bird still has his penalty. I'll tell you, given that Formula E can be kind of like a line, a 5-second penalty can be a doozy. He's not in the points, but it can still be a doozy.
Don't forget about voting for your PIF driver of the race as well. You can see the QR code come up on your screen, scan it, and let us know.
Barnard passes Beckman to become the highest running rookie for the first time in quite a while, at least for the race. I mean, Barnard still has his podium, which gives him a lot of points there.
Strategically, they've all used their attack modes, they've got similar sort of energy. We heard earlier 0.2%, so negligible difference between the two Porsches. And Jake Dennis behind, of course, with the same powertrain. So this is now a straight motor race without any form of strategic game to be played.
And they've got to be careful here. They don't hold each other up because, like I said, there still are cars behind that have got their attack mode to use. You've got John-Eric Verne, who took 8 tenths out of the leaders on the last lap using attack mode. Oliver Rowland has now taken his 6 minutes of attack mode. So this is going to be where it gets interesting.
Well, yellow turn 12, that's David Beckman.
Oh, we got Beckman has crashed.
Not for the first time this
And a lot of cars have taken attack mode. I count 10 that are in attack mode. 11 with Buemi.
And look at the drivers in attack mode, especially the likes of Oliver Rowland.
Half the field, half has attack mode. They could be screwed.
Double yellow down at turn 12, and it all depends as to if the German can get the car going.
The top three are the same.
Halfway around the lap now, so they're coming up to turns 4 5.
Scott Elkins.
The exit of turn 12.
Race direction there, we were hoping to get that, but we didn't quite manage it for one reason or another, so
this is Byrne and Rowland here, both of them again in attack mode. Rowland on this lap, he's 3 seconds behind.
It's like...
So down into the chicane we go.
Right, here is the double yellow. And look for the car. The car's still there.
Are we going to see a replay on Beckman's wreck?
The race director choosing to let the race carry on. Safety car's been deployed.
Safety car, and that screws over the half of the field that was on attack mode.
In this race, and that is hugely detrimental to Oliver Rowland, to John-Eric Verne, to Max Gunther, to anybody that's in active attack mode, but specifically those who waited till later on. We were talking about this earlier on, Billy, and it's come back to bite their hand off.
It definitely has indeed. I mean, they were on their way to closing.
So Rowland, both Penske's, both Maseratis, Maloney, Nato, Cassidy, Buemi, Ticktum were all in attack mode. Beckman will finish last.
I tell you what, the guy to watch out is Mitch Evans, because he has not activated his attack mode. So when the track goes
that's a good point.
He will have 4 minutes of attack mode with the pack completely bunched up.
Is he going to go back-to-back to start the year?
We can see Mitch Evans potentially making some places up towards the end of the race. Well,
Christmas come early.
So who else has it? Barnard, Frines, Nato, Cassidy, Buemi, DeGrassi hasn't used any of his. There is a big penalty if you don't use all of your attack mode, and then Mortara starts.
Cassidy with another deployment remaining here. Let's see what happened to David Beckman, though, in the Cooper Kiro. So he's got a Lola on the inside. There was contact.
Oh.
He turned into him.
He probably hit Maloney or DeGrassi.
DeGrassi chatted into me. I'm out.
So here's the view
Let's
from
have a look
Beckman.
here. So we're on board with Beckman. He's got DeGrassi down the inside.
Broken steering, isn't it?
It looks a little bit like you just said, Corinne, that he's not quite
whacked
timed
his
the
wing.
switch back. He knows he's up the inside, and he's just turned a bit too early and caught the rear corner of DeGrassi there.
I don't think he realised DeGrassi was going to come past. And okay, it was a lunge from DeGrassi, but he's totally entitled to do that.
And he made the corner.
So I think in hindsight, Beckman will watch that video back and think, I could have avoided that.
So one thing to mention here in this race, there is a possibility we may have some added...
DeGrassi cannot take all of his attack mode anymore, according to the virtual race engineer.
We will get at least one added lap here in this race. You can see our virtual race engineer says that DeGrassi cannot take all of his attack mode anymore in this race, because he's still got 8 minutes to activate, and there's not going to be 8 minutes left of this race.
Unless we get some added laps.
Oh yeah, quite potentially. Let's see what happens. There is David Beckman. Unfortunately, 2 races in Formula E for the Cooper Kiro team and 2 DNFs for him. We're going to reset as we head into Jeddah, into February. Now the Porsche Taycan safety car out on track, bunching the field right up.
We heard earlier Taylor Barnard, Sam Bird, you know, the McLaren team in general talking about strategy about how Sam Bird was going to help Taylor Barnard out by blocking the cars behind. This could pay off for them, McLaren again.
Copy, and we hold position for now. Hold position for now.
Yeah, but then he has to increase the pace. How is it possible that Dennis is following?
City control in this lap.
Copy.
Some people will still have their... Rowland will still have as part of his attack mode. So will Van Dorn and Nick Cassidy.
End of this lap. So, the moment, 6 laps to go, and it's Da Costa, Verline that lead, and the field is right bunched up here. Roland in attack mode has still got some deployment left here, so it could be Christmas come early for Oliver Roland and for Nissan, and he's about equal on energy here as well.
And watch the restart, because he can
go.
accelerate with the 4-wheel drive now. Watch him go. Yeah,
Roland trying to get a good move. Jump on Dennis.
Puts the power down. Can he out-drag Jake Dennis down towards turn 1?
The inside.
Oh. For him. Green light is on then, and we go side by side. Oliver Roland on the
Roland the
inside,
third.
down into the first corner. The Briton up through and into third place. Next target, the 2 Tag Heuer Porsches. A golden opportunity falling into the hands of the Nissan team, and a possible opportunity at victory sending their way. And Roland
Dennis trying to send it in. Can't get there. The next turn with the hairpin. Oh, he passes borderline. Last race, an overpower penalty screwed him. Can he charge back to the lead? Oh, oh! Near contact, or maybe there was contact between Roland and Da Costa. They both to the inside of the turn, and Roland takes the lead here at Mexico.
Nissan team, it is now a golden opportunity for the British.
What? We had another safety car.
There's another safety car here.
For what?
What's happened? It's Mitch Evans, I think.
Oh, what?
Who's come across?
Oh, no. The point leader.
Mitch Evans has come a cropper there. So
I saw DeGrassi falling back, but he was nowhere near that, so I don't know what happened.
Well, Mitch Evans was the one, wasn't it?
Mitch Evans could have been in the captaincy. He is wrecked just outside of the 4.0 Soul area.
Yeah, look, Evans, his steering's broken. You can see the wheels are askew. So we'll get a replay shortly. But that is a real shame for Mitch Evans. But Oliver Roland, he had 1 lap to make it count, and God did he made up all 3 places.
So let's see, Roland leads, Da Costa second, Borderline third, Dennis fourth, Vern fifth, Gunther sixth, Van Dorn is seventh, De Vries eighth, Muller ninth. Now Evans is going to be 21st and out, so I'm just going to take Evans and Beckman off. So Jake Hughes is 10th now. 11th is Barnard, 12th Frines, 13th Maloney, 14th is Nick Cassidy, 15th Normanado, 16th Sebastian Buemi, 17th is Dan Ticktum. So he's got managed to make up some places after his start, which involved having to pit. 18th Sam Bird, 19th DeGrassi, 20th Mortara of cars that are still in the race.
I suspect not many, if I'm completely honest, especially with what was a difficult weekend for them in the end at Sao Paulo, with the overpowering situation and Oliver Roland having that win snatched away. This might feel like just returns.
Nissan could be the first F1 team to hit 20 wins. I'm sorry, the first Formula E team to hit 20 wins. This takes the time back when they were the Renault factory team, which they got 16 wins. Or was it? Well, I don't remember when they became.
Right, here we go. So now they're all out of attack mode. They're all in the same power mode, but Roland is going to be under pressure from the 2 Porsches, and he's gone for it. He's gone early with the restart. He hasn't waited until he's come out of the stadium section. He's gone for it in the stadium section. And Roland knows
15 wins with Renault, 4 with Nissan.
To try and increase it over Da Costa to not allow the Portuguese driver to attack down into the first corner. He's got a comfortable margin as we come across the line and get green flag racing back underway. Down in towards turn 1 we go. Dennis looking on the back of Pascal Verline for a possible podium place here as well. Out of turn 2 into turn 3 we go. So it's now Nissan leading Porsche, leading Andretti. The TDS Penske's there a bit further behind as well. There's still a few drivers who've got 1 attack mode deployment left in this as well.
Yeah. Da Costa's got about
Barnard comes to mind.
% more than Roland. So we've got to keep an eye on whether the laps get added. It is nearly a flat-out race. Probably
Barnard finds.
If we go to the normal distance, but with added laps, just got to keep.
DeGrassi still has all of his. He'll undoubtedly get a penalty.
Team radio that we heard, and no surprise there at all. As we said, golden opportunity here sits in the hands of Oliver Roland and for Nissan.
Taylor Barnard, he's one to watch. 4 minutes of attack mode left. The field
Lemmy has 6.
All the drivers will see him in their mirrors very shortly, I'm sure of that.
So through into the Perotada we go. See the two DS Penske's John
Barnard, Frines, Cassidy, Nato, Wemmy, DeGrassi, Mortar. They all take the remaining attack modes, with the exception of DeGrassi, because he probably won't be able to use all of it. 3 to go. No added laps.
Like you just said there, Tom, no added laps. Taylor Barnard had Robin Frines behind him, so even though he took attack mode, he hasn't lost that track position. So 3.5 minutes for the McLaren driver to do some damage here.
Yeah, but, you know, so Buemi, DeGrassi, Mortara are going to get excluded from this race because...
There's Evans walking off.
Will be able to finish
Cassidy passes Maloney for 13.
They've got over 5 minutes. So, unfortunately, they're not going to get it done in time.
Yeah, it's a big shame there for him. Let's see what happens with Mitch Evans on the right-hand side of your screen. I think it's going to be with Eden Mortara, quite possibly.
Stopped on the exit.
It was.
I think you have damage. Idiot.
Let's have a look.
Out.
So bottlenecks up there for him, and then back over to the Andretti, actually, I beg your pardon, wasn't it? It was, yeah. Nico Muller, who he comes to blows with. Over the back wheel,
Nico
slightly
Muller,
airborne,
right.
Broken steering for Mitch Evans and a DNF then in this race. So 3 laps soon to become 2 to go. It's Roland that leads from Da Costa and Wehrlein. Da Costa knows that he is going to have to try and have a couple of laps of his life here, Billy, in order to be able to attack Roland.
2 to go.
On the final lap for the race lead.
Yeah, he's got a lot of work to do. Half a second is the gap, and Oliver Roland is a fierce defensive driver. He'll really position his car well.
Last lap 2, Nick Cassidy.
Make any outrageous moves. He's got to play it sensibly with Oliver Roland because he'll be fighting aggressively for this victory.
Oliver Roland never finished on the podium here in Mexico City. We've been here 9 times, and it could be, as I said, a golden opportunity for him. He's not doing anything too rash at the moment, defending fresh air or anything like that. And Da Costa also just putting his car in exactly the right positions as we come in towards that chicane. This is where Evans met his demise. A handful of laps ago, which brought out the most recent safety car. And you wonder exactly what it's going to be like in terms of remaining energy for Da Costa. It's all good, he might have more energy over Oliver Roland, but he might not have the opportunity to use that, such as the distance left in this race here, Billy.
Barnard enters the points.
Just looking at the difference from the drivers that have got attack mode, Taylor Barnard was a second quicker than the leaders on the last lap. He's up into 10th, so he's in the points now, but he's still got a lot of work to do. I'd expect him to maybe be able to get up to 7th about that.
Well, given the fact he started down in 19th on the grid, and he said that points were not going to be easy to come by, that will be a very welcome opportunity for him. So 1 lap then to go.
Here we go, white flag, last lap. Can Oliver Roland hold on for the 20th win for the team?
You can see Roland there with 3% energy. Da Costa has got a little bit more expendable for him, but the problem is he might not have the opportunity to use it because, as I said,
Wemmy sets the fastest lap.
And you wonder how high the heart rate now Tommaso Volpe is, the Nissan team principal here.
Yeah, we're coming up to turns 4 and 5, so he's running out of opportunities here, isn't he, Da Costa? Now, one coming up into the chicane, but he's not quite close enough here. It might end up needing a lunge into the stadium.
Yeah, and that's the problem, is it's so...
Is he desperate enough to do it, though?
He needs a really good exit coming out of turns 10 and 11 does Antonio finish Da Costa, but it's nice there from Oliver Roland. There's no opportunity for Da Costa to attack as we come through into the stadium section. It'd have to be a Dan-dare move on the inside, and I don't think Da Costa is going to have the opportunity to lunge through. He has a half look as it's all concertinas up through the stadium.
And probably going to be it.
Nose-to-tail action. It's going to come down to the
They come down to the final turns. The guy who won the last race last year wins the second race of this year. Oliver Roland will win the Mexico City ePrix. All right, Da Costa second, Borlein third to finish the podium. Dennis fourth, De Vries, Verne fifth, Gunther sixth. Seventh is Van Dorn, eighth De Vries, Muller ninth, and Barnard 10th.
Tommaso Volpe and the Nissan team celebrating, well, a double podium for the Tag Heuer Porsche team as well.
That makes up for it.
What a race. 3 drivers did not finish their attack mode, Wemmy, DeGrassi, Mortara, so those could result in some penalties affecting positioning, but it won't affect points.
Oliver up in the commentary box. Congratulations, that restart off the safety car worked perfectly, didn't it?
Yeah, you could say that, Kieran, thank you. I knew I had like 60, 70 seconds left of the 350, so I went for it, and it paid off. I think it's
Alright, I need to adjust.
obviously extremely unlucky
So I was
with
paying attention.
the safety car and the red flag. But
So
here it kind
Da
of
Costa
came to our
should take the
rescue,
points
so,
lead because he is
super happy. And
second, back-to-back second place finishes,
let's
but
get
the
the
day
season
belongs to Nissan and Oliver
Congratulations
Rowland
again,
for
and
his
yeah,
fourth career
absolutely
with his fourth
good,
career
good recovery
victory.
after the bad luck in Sao Paulo.
Thank you, mate. Appreciate that. Thank you.
Before this race, Oliver Rowland had never finished inside the top
So
six.
running down
in
top
Mexico.
the full
Amazing
positionings of
performance
everybody.
from the Britain, and also
All
for
right,
Nissan
so
as well. That's their 20th victory,
Rowland wins,
in the
Da Costa
history
second,
of the team.
Vorline
Also, of course,
third,
their
Dennis
former guys,
fourth,
Zidane as
Jean-Eric
well.
Verne fifth,
You see
Maximilian
the drivers now
Gunther
stopping
sixth,
down here.
seventh
That's
is
Stadio.
Stoffel Van Dorn,
Pascal
eighth is
Wehrlein
Nick
and
De
Tony
Vries,
Da Costa
ninth
again.
is Nico
A double
Muller,
podium
10th
finish for
Taylor
him.
Barnard.
Da Costa
Outside of the
second
points,
in
11th
the
for Jake Hughes,
first race of the season, second in the
12th
second
is
race
Robin
of the season.
Frines,
He's
13th
racking on those
Sebastian
podiums.
Buemi,
He's having a
14th to Nick
significantly
Cassidy,
better start to season
15th is
11
Norman
than he was here
Nato,
12 months ago.
16th Lucas Degrassi, 17th is Eduardo Mortara, 18th Zane Maloney, 19th Dan Ticktum, 20th Sam Bird. The last two are the cars that did not finish, Mitch Evans in 21st and David Beckman in 22nd.
Fans adorning this circuit, and so passionate they are here in Mexico City.
I'm not sure we had quite the efficiency of the Porsches.
All right, next week is the practice and qualifying for the 24 Hours of Daytona, along with the VP Sports Car Racing support events. Although I will not be streaming those because I don't really do sports car racing. But the week after that, along with the 24 Hours of Daytona, is the ARCA West season opener at Kern County Raceway Park. The first time in forever there's been a NASCAR race of any kind in the month of January. Hope that everyone so I mean, when I think of January race, I think of the Walt Disney World truck races they had in 97 and 98. Hope all of you enjoyed today's event. See you in a couple weeks for the first stock car race of the year. BowserJrXD signing off. Have a good one.